Hello, world on Twist, and welcome back to Raw Recap and Review. This is the April 27th, 2026 episode in Laredo, Texas. And if you enjoy WWE content like this, like the video and subscribe to the channel, man. I do every Monday. I do Raw Recap and Reviews, and also on this channel I do WWE 2K26 content. We finished the CM Punk Showcase, and we're gonna be having uploads of the My Rise coming up soon. Now let's get into the first segment of Raw. Burn it down with the first segment of Raw because we have Seth freaking Rollins. He pop out all black fit on. Crowd going, the crowd getting right. He gets into the ring. He says, he lost at WrestleMania to Gunther not because he was better, because of Bron Breakker. He says Bron Breakker is the reason he doesn't have his belt right now, and he says that he has a score to settle with him, especially after giving him 9 stitches are staples to the back of his head. So Bron Breakker pops out with Paul Heyman. They have a little stare off, and Seth goes up to me and says, I gave you everything. I gave you the opportunities and all this, and you came up there and took everything away from me. And that leads to him saying, you did all that, but for what? Bron Breakker goes in and say, you gave me everything. What did you actually give me? He says, we were up there, me and Bronson Reed were your errand boys. We up there fighting all your battles, trying to take down all these fires, you know what I'm saying? But and just so you can do your little intro, I am a visionary, revolutionary. And he says, I never needed you, Seth. I needed him. And he points at Paul Heyman. And Seth goes, that was funny, I like that, he says to Bron, you're unique. You're one of the most talented guys he ever seen, you know what I'm saying? When he gave him that chance in NXT for the fight for the belt, he knew it then and he knew it now. He says, you have everything in the world, but the one thing you don't have is this. He don't got the brain. He says, Bron, you try. You try everything, but I succeed. And he says, the thing I realized is that, Bron, you're not ready. You're not ready for it. And Bron says, oh, really? He said, oh, I'm not ready for it. The reason you lost your belt, because you're too weak. You're too brittle. Your shoulder couldn't handle holding the strap again. Then he says, you know what, Seth? He says, you're one of the best wrestlers. He says, you're the best wrestler in the world at coming number 2. And it says, okay, I like that line. He said, you hit up your uncle for that line, Big Papa Pump. And he says, you know what? Let's see if you're ready. I challenge you to a match at Backlash. And he says, I don't know if you know it, but everybody else knows you're not even number 2 in your own family. And that's the end of that promo. So it looks like we're going to get the match we should have got at WrestleMania, but injuries happen. But I can't wait to see that. That's going to be a good. Then we get backstage with Stephanie Vaquer appearing to the arena, and she gets knocked out by the Judgment Day. Roxanne knock her around, and they push a little crate into her, and they mess up her shoulder. So I guess this is the way they're writing out Stephanie out, because she supposedly was hurt on the build-up. So now she's out, because she doesn't come back later in the show. We get into our first match of the night, and it is Penta, the Intercontinental Champion, versus Rusev, who had a little tiff last week. Now they finna run the fade back. But before the match, before the bell rings, Ethan Page pops out. He wants to sit down and enjoy the wrestling. We get into the match off with Rusev instantly getting into it, landing a suplex onto Penta, then picking him up for a gut wrench slam, and then picking him up for a fallaway slam. I said, damn, Penta getting whooped, ain't he? Was leading to him then big boot to Penta, then standing on top of him on the rope for leverage, which leads to Penta getting back up, fighting back, super kicks on the Rusev, and then drop kicking Rusev to the outside of the ring, which leads to Penta to do the tope con hilo, which is basically the front flip on the outside onto Rusev. Then he gets into Ethan Page's face on the outside. Ethan's like, you need to pay attention to your mans. Rusev tries to go for the back suplex onto him, but that gets reversed by Penta to a super kick. That leads to him getting Rusev back into the ring. Penta tries to go for a springboard like he did last week, and like last week it happened again. Super kick to Penta. Then he picks him up for a spinning slam, and that's when we get to a commercial break. We get back from the commercial break with both men on the top rope. Penta's punching back and forth on Rusev. Headbutts him down off it. He gets on the top rope, goes for the crossbody on the Rusev, which leads him to then go into the reverse sling blade. Then he gets, that leads to Rusev going to the corner. He kicks him down. Penta goes for the delayed drop kick down onto him. Goes for the pin. 1, 2. Kick out from Rusev. He ain't going like that. That leads to Rusev then getting up and then Irish whipping Penta to the corner, but Penta jumps off of it. Rusev goes underneath, lands to the backstabber on that man, goes for the pin. Another kick out from Rusev though. Now Penta's trying to get it over, tries to go for the Mexican Destroyer, but that gets reversed by Rusev until he kicks him off of him and then hits him with a roundhouse kick, slams him down with a Uranagi. Then he gets in the corner. He's hyping up for the Machka kick, lands the Machka kick, then tries to go for the accolade. But the accolade, Penta rolls up out of that. They go back and forth. Irish whips, tries to go for the bounce, the middle rope Mexican Destroyer. He jumps on the rope, but he doesn't release. He holds onto it, pump fakes it on Rusev. Rusev turns around. Penta rolls up for the roll up. 1, 2, 3. Penta gets the dub, man. He celebrates with the belt, but that don't have much fun. But before we get into what happens after the match, I'm gonna give that match 3.5 star match. Good opener for Raw. Get the juices flowing. But after that match, I have nothing like really bad negative to say. Really good opening show. But after that, Rusev, sore loser, attacks him. That leads to Ego. Ethan Page getting in the ring. He's about to fight him, but Rusev you got it, twin. That leads to but Penta fights back though. He can start slapping back on Rusev, but then that leads to Ethan getting back into the ring and knocking Penta down. They start jumping him, and then that boy Valsey, Javon get in. He get in the ring. He fight them off of them. He got the OG cutter on Rusev, and then fist bumps Penta, showing that he got his back, man. So I'm pretty sure we're gonna have a tag team match next week. After that matchup, we get the Los Americanos, Rayo Bravo and El Grande Americano, promoting his mask versus mask match against the OG El Grande Americano on May 30th, and also says, to train for that match, he wants to go one-on-one, respectfully, with Rey Mysterio, which we'll get on the second half of this Raw Recap and Review, because we do it in 2 videos, guys. Y'all know this. But then the man is popping out. Becky Lynch, the new Intercontinental Women's Champion. She's out. She tells the crowd, the man is coming around. She says she's feeling good, because she's finally got rid of AJ Lee. And she's also breaking records, doing history. She's the first person to win 4 different titles at Mania. She's won the most WrestleMania matches for women. She says she's coming for The Undertaker too. And she says she proved that she's the best women's wrestler of all time, And the number one thing that was important for her, not with all the people watching and everything, she got to prove that to her daughter what a real champion was. She said, it's not doing the match, it's not doing that. She said it's also not, she said what it really is going to run down towns like Laredo, Texas and pulling up, They gotta get to the heat from Laredo. But she said, you know what? I know you guys want to see a fighting champion, so I'm giving out an open challenge. I want to see some good fights out here. And then Io Sky pop out for the challenge. She get into the ring. She says, I accept. And Becky what you mean you accept? I want to fight the best of the best. You ain't that. You ain't cold. They booing you right now. And she's like, okay, I'm playing. She's so, but really though, you accept on Rhea's behalf, right? The actual champion, right? Because you just been her sidekick this whole time. I know you don't want to do nothing. She says, I want to fight Shawn Michaels. I don't want to fight Mauro Jannetty, and Io ain't had that. Slap that girl down. That leads to Becky trying to duck out, get out the ring, but Adam Pearce pop up and say, hey Becky, what you doing? We got an open challenge. We in Laredo. Let's get that match starts now. Now Becky Lynch versus Io Sky for the Intercontinental Championship. The match happens during the commercial break, but we get back from the commercial break with Io Sky hitting a low dropkick on the Becky, and then trying to Irish whip Becky into the corner, and then that leads to Becky catching Io Sky jumping up with a big kick, and then she goes on the clothesline. Io Sky goes for a pin. 1, 2. Kick out from Io. She not going out that way. Becky then lands a corner forearm onto her, and then into a Beck-sploder, which leads to Io then rolling outside the ring, and then that leads to Becky hitting her with a baseball slide down up there, and then she goes on the apron and then lands a big axe handle. She then gets Io back into the ring. Now Becky gets the corner, lands a middle rope leg drop, goes for a pin. 1, 2. Kick out from Io, man. She off that Henny, man. She good. That leads to Becky trying to do a back suplex on the Io, but Io punches her and then lands her with a German. Then Io is getting it back and forth. She hits a elbow similar to Kyrie saying, she got released, so that's probably a tribute to her. And then hitting her with a slam, and then Irish whips her. But then Becky Irish whips Io to the corner. She jumps through the corner, grabs Becky's arm, pulls down on it, then goes to the top rope to land a missile drop kick. She does the flip over to the Orpharm. Then lands the bullet train, which is the double knees to Becky in the corner while she's seated. She's going to go for the pin, but Becky kicks out of it. Now she says it's over, tries to go for the moonsault, but Becky pulls her down off of that and then hits her with a big clothesline. Becky goes for the pin, but Io kicks out of it. At least the Becky trying to land the manhandle slam, but Io reverses out of it, pulls her down, stomp on the Becky. At least the Becky then rolling out the ring, but then tries to go for the suicide dive on the Becky, but Becky punches her before she gets out. She goes on the top over there. Now they're on the apron. Becky tries to do a suplex the other side, but they get stopped by Io. Io then goes for the sunset flip onto Becky. She gets over her, lifts her up. Big power bomb on the ground, and that leads to a commercial break. We get back from the commercial break, crazy. Becky and Io on the top rope. Big superplex by Becky onto her into a DDT. Goes for the pin. 1, 2. Kick out from Io, man. She off the hen dog. She picks up Io, tries to go for the manhandle slam again, but Io reverses out of that, starts into a pinning combo, but Becky kicks out of that. Then Io goes for a kick, but Becky reverses it and hits her with a back kick instead. Boom. Then picks her up for a butterfly backbreaker. Double arms up. Slam right on her back. Goes for the pin. 1, 2. Man, kick out the man. Not going like that, man. That leads to the Io then hitting her tornado DDT on the Becky. Goes for the top rope for the over the moonsault. Flips over. Boots by Becky Lynch. That leads to the pick her up. Man, slam on Io, man. 1, 2. Nah, Io still in it. She got resiliency. Io pushes Becky down, then goes for the outside moonsault onto Becky. Puts her in the ring. Tries to go up to the rope again, but this time Asuka pulls down Io. She comes out of nowhere, pulls down Io, slams her back right on the apron, corner of the ring. Puts her back in the ring. Becky gets her manhandle slam. 1, 2, 3. Becky retains the championship. I give that match a 4-star match. I probably would have given it a 4.5 because I thought it would have ended well. I thought they would have ended the Asuka thing because Kairi Sane got fired, but I guess not. Great match between these women. Good back and forth. Shenanigans do be dropping the points down a lot. You know what I'm saying? This really a 4.5-star match. I ain't gonna lie. But but then Asuka gets in the ring and then start whooping on Io and then hits it with the Asuka lock. But at least it's them fighting in Backlash. We're gonna have a match at Backlash, so we're gonna end the storyline. And before we end part 1, we're gonna lead off with another segment. We got Byron Saxton interviewing the Usos. They want to ask him, has Roman made a decision about Jacob Fatu? Jimmy says the OTC will make his decision when he wants to. You know what I'm saying? And LA Knight pauses at nowhere and says, I know you didn't just say what I think you just said. Like he said, y'all act like y'all don't know who y'all is no more. You're like, Jay, you're a main event Jay Uso. Like, he's like, Jimmy, like, you have all the potential in the world, but you want to be on the coattails of Roman. And Jay goes on and say, hold on now. This is family business, and I need you to know your lane, know your role, and get out of family business. And LA says, I know it's family business, but the thing is right. With that power y'all be having, it get toxic, and then it becomes my business. Yeah. I'm pretty sure see LA fighting the bloodline again. That's going to be some interesting matches right there. But that's going to be the end of part 1. If you enjoyed the video, please like the video and subscribe to the channel, man. I would really support that. Join the fam. And also, make sure to check out the CM Punk Showcase videos on my channel if you haven't. The first video of it got blocked by WWE, but they unblocked it. So shout out WWE, man. We like this. We like this, WWE. We locked in. Invite me to SummerSlam, please. I'm saying, but my rise will be, you know what I'm saying? But my rise will be coming out soon. And also, if you want to know what Roman decides against Jacob Fatu, you gotta watch part 2. It's gonna be right here. Check it out. Part 2.